back is the hit comedy crime drama The Madame Blanc Mysteries.
Yes, but before we meet its creator and star, Sally Lindsay, let's see what's in store in the new series.
Hey!
Hunting for treasure on shipwrecks is big business.
A motive for murder.
I knew it.
Give your hand if you like.
A poor woman has been shot.
There's something that's not quite right.
Am I under arrest?
I can explain.
You look very handsome in your
We're all new.
brown that, yeah.
It's good, isn't it? Rocking it.
Here we go again.
Please welcome Madame Blanc herself, Sally Lindsay. Welcome! Now, Sally, your character, Jean White, she's a real modern-day Miss Marple.
Yeah.
For anyone who hasn't caught the show yet, tell us, how is it that she's ended up in the south of France solving all these murders?
OK, in a nutshell. So, essentially, the character was based on a wonderful antiques dealer I met years ago called Jan on Holiday. And she was this very normal, lovely person, but absolute genius in her mind about antiques. And I thought, I'm going to carry that character somewhere one day. I mean, this was years ago. And then, so I came up with this idea. And basically what happens is Jean's got this wonderful, lovely antique shop in Cheshire. She has a lovely time. She's married to a gorgeous man. He goes to the south of France to get lovely antiques that's Saint Victoire, where you can see now, in these lovely little towns at the south of France. On the way back, he gets killed in a car crash. It's awful. But she discovers that he's having a double life, and she has to go over to Saint Victoire to find out what's happened. And she never leaves. And we're series 3 now, so she's still there.
This is it, and life's moved on a bit. I mean, her love life's moved on a bit. How's her romance progressing this series?
So my other half on screen is the wonderful Steve Edge, who I met like 400 years ago on Phoenix Nights. So we've been mates ever since, and he is absolutely amazing. So they have sort of a will they, won't they? We call it kind of moonlighting kind of thing. Sometimes they're the best mates, sometimes. So it drives people mad that they're not quite together yet. But it's great. It's a great thing to be working with your friends. And I work with my dear friend. I write it with the Sue Vincent, and we have a lovely time writing it. And we've all turned into a bit of a family, actually. You know, all the main characters, Sue Holderness, Robin Asquith, Alex Gaumont, all of us have turned into like a little family. So it's a wonderful thing to do. Very, very proud of it.
So Steve Edge there, who plays Dom, I mean,
Never heard of him.
He's like your Dr. Watson, isn't he? I mean...
It's my Dr. Watson. He's got the same muzzy. All mine bigger some mornings, I do say, yes.
How does the dynamic between the both of you work?
Well, the thing is, we're really good friends anyway.
Yeah.
So the trick is, there's a chemistry there anyway, and has been for years. So I think I've played Steve's wife at least 3-4 times over the years, you know, on the Manchester merry-go-round of actors. And so we just have this chemistry anyway. We're great friends. All of us are, actually. But, you know, we've got... there's loads of new characters coming in as well, when that chemistry sort of filters through from the both of us. And I think, it just really works. We just have a really big laugh, to be honest. Yeah. That's half the problem.
Now, Sally, there's one of the cast that I've got a question from me to you about. Paul Chuckle. Paul Chuckle is in it. Please tell me that he's an absolute scream.
He's one of the most divine people I've ever met, Paul. He's just gorgeous. And we wanted someone really funny and really northern for Gloria's dad, the character Sue Vincent plays. And he's just a scream. And he comes every year, and he comes with his lovely wife, Sue, and we have an absolute ball. And, you know, it's just absolutely fantastic. And we've got some amazing characters coming in. We've got Sir Tony Robinson. He comes back as one of the regulars this year, which is really exciting. And we've got some really exciting guest stars in. Usually my mates that I ring up and say, do you fancy your holiday? And a bit of a laugh. And they go, all right, then.
Yeah. The location's a big draw.
Which is quite handy, really. Yeah.
It's been a real success.
I know.
I mean, it's in its 3rd series.
Yes.
I mean, is it right, though, that, fans have got to a point now where they're tracking you down on location because of it? Again, sounds like a nice holiday, doesn't it, to be fair? You might find me there.
It's because we film it in Gozo, it's not in the south of France, so it's a beautiful island that looks like south of France in the 50s, north of Malta. So it's quite difficult to get to. It's a 3.5-hour flight and a ferry. It's not easy.
It's not
pack culture. And so when they turn up, you just go, you made it all this way. So we always there was one girl, I think her name was Mandy, and she came from Tasmania. So it goes internationally as well, by Echo on TV, and so it's mad. And she came to Tasmania, and she was just like in awe. So obviously we put her in a scene and made a big fuss of her. But that's the farthest one we've had. But we've had people, you know, sort of coming on holiday there because they've seen the scenery. Because, like you were saying before, you know, people are turning to holidays now. Well, that's what I wrote Madame Blanc for. The sunshine, the escapism, you know, I love telly like that in these winter months, and I sort of wrote it for myself.
And I love that, you know, you can make the choices because you wrote it. Last night we had this fantastic sofa, ex-Corrie alumni,
And
many of them,
all of us.
the brilliant
The way
writer
to go,
Kay
isn't
Mellor.
it?
We had a film about Kay Mellor,
I love Kay.
and that kind of better representation for women on screen and as writers is something you're very passionate about.
And our company, Saffron Cherries, as well, because we co-produce it with Clapperboard, and they're brilliant. And basically, I'm really interested in putting women of a certain age, of different diversity, on screen and making it very normal. So I think if you make everything very normal, nobody knows the difference anyway. And that's what I like to represent. But also, we're both female writers, obviously, but unfortunately, they're still terribly underrepresented. I think it's something in mainstream. There's only 14% of big shows written by female writers, which is, you know, primetime shows like ours, which is source of rubbish, really. Soaps, it's 50%. It's mad, isn't it? So that's got to change. But it is changing, and, you know, in my little way, we're trying to put... Because women love looking at women. You know, when me and Saran created Scott and Bailey years ago, we kept saying... Women love watching women. Women love you know, they've got the remote control, you know, and they like watching people like themselves on television.
Yeah.
And I think that is really changing now, hopefully.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sally.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And the new series of the Madame Blanc Mystery starts tomorrow on Channel 5 at 9 o'clock. OK, time now to welcome our next guest. He's a Knight of the Realm. He has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, 3 Oscars, and he's regarded as one of the world's greatest lyricists. Please welcome Sir Tim Rice. Welcome to the show, Tim. Now, I mean, you've put together a brilliant event celebrating some of the best loved songs that you've actually written. It's called My Life in Musicals. I know him so well. Just give people a flavour of what they can expect when they turn up to this.
Well, it's a show which features me chatting with great wit and aplomb between the songs, and it's the best thing about it is we have 4 wonderful singers. We tried it out 4 dates earlier last year, and it's me introducing the songs, most of which I hope you'll know, and maybe some of which you'll love. And it's funny and musical, and you know, everything from Don't Cry to Me, Argentina, and Joseph, and Chess, and Lion King. And the interesting thing I find about having a show which is based around the songs of a lyricist, as opposed to all the songs of a great composer, is that I'm able to introduce songs by lots of different great composers that I've worked with. Viz, Elton John songs, Andrew Lloyd Webber songs, Alan Menken songs, Bjorn and Benny songs, and even a Burt Bacharach song, because I've been so lucky to write with all these people during my career.
I mean, you have got this extraordinary back catalogue. How did you narrow it down, decide what was going to be in the show?
Well, I think the golden rule is you don't bring too many new things in or unknown songs. You just have to... People want to come and hear the songs. If you go to an Elton John concert, or if you go to any great artist concert, a performer, you always want to hear the great hits that you grew up with or that mean a lot to you. And they kind of pick themselves. I mean, I must have written literally hundreds of songs, but not too many of them have been blockbusters. But there have been enough blockbusters to make an entertaining show. It was about, I would say, 15 or 16 songs that people would know quite well, and 2 or 3 weirdo numbers.
I love that.
Very
love a
modest,
weirdo number.
Yeah. Very modest.
And we end with Hakuna Matata, which people go out with a smile on their face, unless they don't like the Lion King, of course.
Everyone loves it.
Right.
So, Tim, you mentioned that kind of in between each song that you kind of, you'll say a few words, maybe introducing someone or something, but you were in a band, weren't you, called the Aardvarks?
The Aardvarks, yep. We chose that. I was at school back in almost pre-Beatle days, and we based ourselves on Cliff Richard and the Shadows. I was the kind of Cliff figure in it. And we called ourselves the Aardvarks because we knew it would be top of any alphabetical bill, even ahead of ABBA.
Oh, I like it. Yes. Will you be singing, I think, is the question.
Well, was that the question?
Yeah.
I must, in future, listen to the question.
I didn't finish.
No, I do sing one song which illustrates quite an important point, which if the lyrics to a great tune are not good, then the song can flop. And one of the songs I've been most fortunate with is called I Don't Know How to Love Him from Jesus Christ Superstar. And originally that was a song called Kansas Morning, would you believe? And we wrote it, Andrew and I wrote it pre-Superstar, pre-Joseph, as a pop song. And it didn't catch on, and the reason it didn't catch on, I now know and admit, was the lyric was absolutely appalling. But it's quite a good point, and I do sing that lyric about as well as I wrote it. And it does illustrate the point, and I always sing it after a truly great singer has sung I Don't Know How to Love Him, because otherwise it can take the mickey out of it. But otherwise I might join in the oh-ohs in Any Dream Will Do, but I keep my trap shut unless I'm talking.
So you were on a very different path when you came to meet Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Well, he wasn't a lord then.
He wasn't back then, no,
17.
Exactly. And Joseph was your first big success.
Yes.
How did the idea come about?
Well, I first met Andrew because we were both, it's a long story which I won't go into now, we were both struggling songwriters. I was keen to get into rock and pop, and he was obsessed brilliantly with theatre. And he was clearly better at theatre than I was at rock and roll. So we had a go at writing, and nothing happened for a while until a schoolmaster asked us to write something for his school. And that was Joseph. It turned out to be Joseph. And we were writing something which we never thought would be commercial. We were doing it partly as a favour, partly to hear anything we'd done live, which we'd never heard at that point. And Joseph was really what got us going. It got us a record deal, it got us a management, and from that little pebble in the ocean, we finally were quite fortunate.
Absolutely incredible. From Little Acorns, Mighty Oaks, grow wonderful stuff. Thank you so much. My Life in Musicals, I Know Him So Well, is in theatres from the 18th of April, and tickets are available now.
Go and get them, people. OK, it's not long until Luke Humphries takes on the 16-year-old sensation, Luke Littler, in the final of the World Darts Championship, so good luck to them both. I've got to say, what a night, eh? Thank you to you both. It's been an absolute pleasure, Sally, Sir Tim, and obviously Matt. Can't forget Matt and his James Bond theme stuff, can I?
Absolutely. Carried that off so well. Roman and I will be here tomorrow with Dragon Peter Jones and Davina McCall. For now, have a lovely evening. Good luck at the Ali Pali tonight, everyone.
Good
Bye.
night.